Okay, so I just want to get something out of the way first. I'm sure most of you clicked on this video expecting a review, and you will get a review. In fact, you can just skip to this timestamp if you're really eager to hear my thoughts on Castlevania. However, I really do think I need to get this pretense out there first. I rarely make reviews. While writing this script, I ponder to myself if I am suitable to review an animated series like Castlevania. It's not like I haven't done it before, and the times that I have reviewed a piece of anime or video game hasn't always ended up well for me, as I tend to have complete opposite viewpoints of those around me. This in turn creates a negative reverb. People dislike my opposing thoughts and opinions on a beloved franchise. This negative outcry doesn't scare me, but it makes me wonder if there ever is a point in reviews nowadays. We're so attracted to positive outlooks in the things we love that we tend to hate those who have completely different opinions on those things that we like. And we seem to love watching YouTube reviewers just bash the shit out of movies and video games because we just love to see terrible things get so rightfully demolished. But isn't a review supposed to give you insight on something you haven't experienced before? Why bother looking up a review on something if you already know you're gonna like it or hate it? I guess my point being that I seldom do reviews because I think they're pointless. If people are gonna hate on a movie before it even comes out, then why are they still going to watch it? You can't stop people who are curious. Also, I'm just bad at making reviews because I'm never on time with this stuff. I'm not like the bigger YouTubers. I don't have the luxury of nepotism. I don't get reviewer copies of games, nor do I ever get any connections within the gaming world to acquire free games day one. I'm unsponsored and broke as fuck, so I can't just buy games day one because I gotta focus on food and rent first. I'm not trying to get sympathy out of you. I'm just stating why I don't think I can do reviews all the time like everyone else can. I don't know. I feel I might be unqualified to do reviews because of this philosophy I have and my current status in life. Still, I'm glad that there are a few of you out there who are interested enough to actually watch this video. There are many other more capable YouTubers who are more suited to reviewing this than I am. Yet here I am, flattered by the idea that some of you intended on clicking this video for some asshole's opinion on Castlevania. Well, let's not waste any more time. This is my review on Castlevania, bitch! You know, I'm sure some people won't really care much for my opinion, especially after my video where I talk about how much I hate anime. Now, here I am reviewing an anime? Well, anime-ish. This show is as much of an anime as The Last Airbender and Korra was an anime. Y'all weebs can argue that all day long. I got no stake in this argument. However, as a gamer and an amateur writer, I'm totally down with reviewing a show based on Castlevania, which lies in the hearts of most, if not all, gamers. It's a legendary game that's been popular since the NES days, and even throughout the 90s. Unfortunately, nowadays, Castlevania continues to struggle to find a stable foothold within the transition to 3D, though the 2D Castlevania games have always been pretty great. So while legendary back in the day as one of the premier Konami games to buy back in the 80s and 90s, Konami hasn't really done much with the franchise since the last Lord of Shadows game, which were I guess. However, Igarashi, creator of Castlevania Symphony of the Night, has since made a successful Kickstarter promoting this very Castlevania-esque game he wanted to make. So, congrats to him, you know? Considering it doesn't suck and all. So now here we are in 2017, and a brand new Castlevania animated series came out on Netflix. Boy, it's something alright. Alright, so the show essentially retells the story of Castlevania 3 for the NES. Whereas Castlevania 1 and 2 was about Simon Belmont, this fucking Dorcas Maximus here, Castlevania 3 takes place quite a few years earlier than the two games and is instead about Trevor Belmont. And yeah, by the way, if you didn't know, Castlevania's story is pretty much JoJo's Bizarre Adventure, just with the Belmont family instead of the Joestar family. And lack of Stan users. Plenty of fucking vampires, though. I actually think it was a pretty smart idea for the creators of this show to focus on Castlevania 3 rather than 1 or 2, or even the wildly popular Symphony of the Night. Now, of course, it's not a one-to-one retelling of the story, seeing as how it still wasn't really a fully developed one to begin with. This time around, they made Dracula more than just a villain, but more of a tragic figure. Which is odd to say, because this is the same Dracula who had fucking pikes of humans in his front lawn. Yeah, Try feeling sympathy for this guy. Oh, hello, love interest. Yeah, so this is his Scotty 2 hottie girl, Lisa, a young, energetic, yet feisty girl who wants nothing more than to just expand her knowledge on science and medicine to benefit the modern world. Of course, seeing as how that sort of shit is seen as evil witchcraft by asshole Christians, she can't seem to satisfy her lust for science now that it's just despised and outlawed. So of course the logical thing for this frail young woman is to go to this battlefield of dead men on pikes. Like, why did you even come here? Hearing rumors that there's a wicked sick pimp by the name of Vlad Dracula Tepish who's got all these wicked sick science porn any young scholar could ever desire, she goes out to find him. Where is he again? Oh yeah, in this spooky fucking abandoned land of death and sorrow. Chick, you fucking nuts or something? Anyways, long story short, she meets Dracula, finds out he's pretty fucking sexy. Dracula finds Lisa equally as erotic. The two have a science orgy and she's burned alive. Boy, I hope this doesn't bring us any sort of doom and gloom after Dracula finds out. Oh my god! Oh Jesus Christ! What the f- is that a baby? Oh, who would have thought that this could have happened? Well, all of them did, because Dracula literally warns the entire fucking country of Wallachia, or whatever the fuck that name is called, that he will destroy them all in 1 year. That's the thing I don't get about this scene. Dracula, the literal Prince of Darkness, King of Slaughter, Bastion of the Dead, warns you as an evil fire demon that he will kill you all. And y'all just sitting here literally 1 year later like, hey, remember when Dracula was all like pranking us and shit? Man, we look like fools that day. Oh no, he's back at it again. Oh, it's not a fucking prank. Anyway, the slaughter continues. With the Belmonts excommunicated by the church, there is literally nobody who can save the country. Which I find kind of funny because this show explicitly displays that holy shit, like holy water kind of shit, hurts these kinds of demons. So it's pretty obvious that the church is super weaponized in the art of holy powers to just stop Dracula's army if they really wanted to. But that's the thing about the church in this show. They're beyond fucking corrupt. They are cartoonishly evil. I mean, it goes back to when the church ruled all of Europe and actually was incredibly corrupt, but also incredibly powerful back in the day of the Middle Ages. It's partly why Wallachia fell. After all, what is a church without faith of God? Just an empty box, godless and fragile. Anyways, I'm getting off track here. Trevor Belmont from the House of Belmont, who are a family of vampire hunters, as I explained before, the only people who can save Wallachia. You know, the same family that does a bunch of badass shit to kill monsters and the like. Yet, ever since the church banned their asses, Trevor's been all sour about it, and is all like, fuck all y'all. Y'all didn't want me back then, and now you want me when monsters are tearing this place up and turning it to hell? You beg for someone to stop them? Oh boy, if only there was like, oh, I don't know, a fucking family of badasses that do this for a fucking living. Yeah, so Trevor doesn't care anymore for Wallachia or the church. I mean, it's like I said, he does this for a living so everyone around him will die and he'll be none the deader. I really like the characters of Trevor Belmont and also of Dracula. Trevor just doesn't care anymore. A lost man who wanders from place to place to, I don't know, find food. In reality, he just doesn't know what to do, conflicted by his right as a Belmont to vanquish evil, but also filled with rage with his petty anger towards the church for defiling his family's name. Similarly, we have Dracula, who also teeters on the line of accepting humans from whom they are, imperfect and sinful and all that such, while also detesting their existence for being so ugly and destructive. The difference being that Dracula has actually fallen towards the line of loathing humans after his beloved Lisa was vanquished in that fire. They're both pretty understandable guys. I mean, fuck, Dracula's revenge against Wallachia as a whole might be a bit extreme, but you know where it's coming from. And it's the same with Trevor. It all comes back to the frustration you have towards the church for being so ignorant and selfish. The real question is, should the people of Wallachia die for the church's misdeeds? The answer really is no, in my opinion. They're just your ordinary people corrupted by lies and filth, construed by the church. They're innocent after all, and shouldn't have to suffer at the hands of Dracula for the church's evil. Anyway, I might be getting ahead of myself here. So with my overanalyzation of the story and such, many of you might be wondering, how's the writing? So listen, I knew this show was written by an English-speaking human being when I realized how smooth the dialogue was and how great everything was written. I didn't know anything about this show. Even when the trailer came out, I assumed it was a Japanese anime written by Japanese people. And as I've criticized before, the problem with Japanese writing in anime is the fact that they love to explain everything in detail over and over and over again. Over-exposition is one of the reasons I can't stand anime, even at the best of times. Thankfully, this show has some respect for the audience and doesn't fucking explain everything. I was fully expecting Trevor to make a little speech about how Cyclops' diets are this, or their powers equal that, or blah 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 blah, or how certain demons yada yada etc. Or some awkward dialogue like, "Idiot, of course I couldn't leave you alone, you bastard. Oh, Castlevania-chan." Thankfully, I was wrong. I think every character was written well, and written distinctively and different from each other. You can tell everyone's personality just by their very first sentence, just as a good writer should display when introducing characters. I don't know why I'm gushing over such basic writing techniques, but I guess it's just been a while since I've been exposed to any good writing in any animated series. Either we're animating it up 24/7 or we're just trying to be the next Adventure Time, making up shitty dialogue like, "Kazamo, man! Radical tabular," and acting like it's good writing. Well, that fucking shit isn't good writing. This right here is good fucking writing, okay? I will admit though, the worst character by far was Sypha. I should phrase that differently actually. She wasn't the worst as in she's just a bad character. She was just the most typical. A very typical, I am a strong, independent woman who don't need no man. I can handle myself kind of character. I'm kind of bored of this character, but I suppose she works well with Trevor, who is her foil in a sense. Oh yeah, and there was also Alucard, but you pretty much only see him in a total of like 3 minutes in the entire series, so it's really not worth mentioning his appearance at all. Listen, the shitty thing about this show is that it's only 4 episodes long, so I really have nothing more to go on than what I've already talked about in terms of story and dialogue. I mean, I can talk about the animation, and my deduction is that it looks great. I'm not an animator, so I wouldn't know 2 shits about animation. However, as a spectator, I thought it looked very well done. Admittedly though, watching the trailers made me a bit iffy about the animation. Though now that I saw it in motion and not just in segments of 1 scene per second, I could see that a lot of effort was put into this. Though there are definitely scenes that are stiff as fuck and makes the show look kind of unpolished, I still very much love the kinetic force put into every blow. Every impact was strong and fierce and I loved it. Sadly, there weren't too many action scenes to talk about, but boy howdy, there were a lot of gory fucking scenes. These dudes did not fuck around with the blood and gore, and I'm all the more happy for it. I was getting real tired of JoJo's censorship, so seeing this gloriously uncensored and metal as Castlevania should be made me just giddy with excitement. Overall, I thought the animation was pretty great, yet I can't think of a scene off the top of my head that made me go, wow, that's stunning. It was just well animated and well directed and really not much more. Though I'm no artist, so I'm not gonna get into the nitty gritty and pretend to know what great art is, so I'm not gonna overanalyze it too much. Unfortunately, that's all I had to say about this show. The fact of the matter is, this show, well, it felt more like a preview than it did a miniseries. And you can tell this was the case, what with the show being renewed for a 2nd season immediately after being released on Netflix. This sort of confuses me. Is it because the people who made this show were unconfident in its success? Or was it because of some weird legal reason that we just don't know about? I mean, it's not like Netflix can't produce a full season for animated shows. Just look at Voltron and Troll Hunters. Granted, both were produced by DreamWorks, so they have a bigger budget and team working for the shows, yet the whole series just felt incomplete, and that really begs the question, why bother? It was incomplete, but I doubt they were unaware of that. It was all part of the plan. They just wanted to dip their toe into the water, maybe make room for their other anime adapted movie, which will most likely have a sequel. It's disappointing because what those 4 episodes had was gripping. I love the action, I love the story, I love the setting, yet it felt like eating 4 sushi rolls. Very delicious, yet unsatisfying. But the chef insists I call it my dinner. Nah, motherfucker, that's not my dinner. I want more, goddammit. What you mean I can't have more? What you mean I had to wait for a whole nother fucking year for a new plate of sushi? Get the fuck out of here! Overall, just watch this goddamn show. Whether you're familiar with the series or not, whether you're into the animation or not, I highly recommend checking it out whenever you can. But it's definitely not something you need to watch right now. Just wait till season 2 comes, and then watch season 1. Until then, I'm still fucking hungry.